A young man walking home from work in the rain without an umbrella, soaked and cold. A woman stops her car, hands him her umbrella through the window, and drives off with a smile. A homeless man sits quietly with a sign that reads, "Not asking for much, just socks." A teenager passes by, runs into the nearest store, and returns with 5 pairs of thick, warm socks. An elderly woman drops a bag of groceries in the parking lot. A group of children rush over, picking everything up before she can bend down, placing it gently back in her cart. A father with his baby in a stroller gets caught in a sudden windstorm. A stranger uses their own body as a shield to protect the baby from the flying dust. A bus driver notices a child crying alone at a bus stop. He parks the bus, steps out, kneels down, and comforts the child until their parent arrives. A little girl at a lemonade stand gives all her earnings for the day to a neighbor who lost their home in a fire. A couple buys coffee for the car behind them in a drive-thru. That car pays for the next one. The kindness chain continues for 27 cars in a row. A boy on his birthday decides to hand out cupcakes at a shelter instead of having a party. The room fills with joy and laughter, and he says it's the happiest birthday he's ever had. A man on his lunch break hears someone playing guitar on the street. He stops, listens, claps, and drops a $100 bill in the guitar case. The musician breaks down in tears. That was rent money he desperately needed. A woman standing in line at the pharmacy pays for an elderly man's medicine after he comes up short. She tells him, "My grandfather would have wanted me to." A student struggling in class gets a surprise note from a classmate, "You're doing better than you think. Don't give up." That note becomes her bookmark every day after that. A food delivery driver forgets a drink. The customer says it's okay, and still gives him a full tip. Later, the driver returns with the drink and a flower as a thank you. At a wedding, the bride gives a heartfelt speech honoring her teacher who once gave her a warm meal when she had nothing. She invites the teacher to dance with her father. A 10-year-old girl donates all her Halloween candy to children in the hospital who couldn't go trick-or-treating. A bakery closes for the day, and instead of throwing leftovers away, the owner hands them out to people living on the streets. An exhausted nurse walks into a diner after a long shift. The cook makes her favorite meal and refuses to let her pay. A man walks into a gas station and sees a mother counting change to buy baby formula. He pays for it and leaves before she can thank him. A young woman in a crowded train sees a man with torn shoes. She takes off her new sneakers, hands them to him, and walks home barefoot. 2 kids find a lost wallet in the park. They use the address on the ID to return it, untouched. The owner gives them each a heartfelt letter of gratitude. A teacher receives a surprise visit from a former student who now runs a nonprofit. The student says, "You were the reason I believed I mattered." A mechanic fixes a single mother's broken-down car for free after hearing her story. She cries, hugging him, saying, "You saved my job." A restaurant serves a free meal every Sunday to anyone who needs it, no questions asked. A soldier on a plane is upgraded to first class by a businessman who simply says, "You've already paid more than enough." A teenage boy uses his own savings to buy winter coats for classmates he sees walking to school without one. A barista slips a note onto a coffee cup, "I see your tears. Whatever you're going through, you are not alone." A young man pays for a stranger's groceries and tells the cashier, "I'm doing it in memory of my mom." And the list goes on, 100 acts of kindness, each one more powerful than the last. October reminded us that while the world can be harsh, people can be beautiful. Behind every stranger is a story. And behind every small act of kindness, there's a ripple that can grow into a wave. These stories are not just heartwarming, they are hope-restoring. So, if you've ever doubted the power of kindness, let this be your reminder. Let it inspire you to act. You don't need a reason. You don't need money. All you need is heart. Thank you for watching. Share this video, not just with your friends, but with your heart. Because sometimes, all it takes is one kind soul to change the direction of someone's day, or even their life. Kindness is the one thing that multiplies when you give it away. Go out there and be the reason someone believes in goodness again.